Come on in, everyone. Come on in because we are reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 17, Episode 8. And my name is Deborah. And we are talking about the after party, y'all. The after party. If you didn't get a chance to check out my video of the regular episode, be sure to check that out. At the end of this video, I'm going to leave the link above my head. But we're talking about this after party, y'all. And guess who was on the after party? Orion and Emily. Orion and Emily. Orion sure loved coming to this after party. He really likes coming here. He likes a lot of camera time. He likes a lot of attention. So he's on this after party. And if y'all think that Orion was flip-flopping during the episode, he did so much flip-flopping during this after party, and it was only 20 minutes long. He had my head spinning. First, he came on the show at the very beginning talking about, I stand on my decision. It was the right decision. And then by the end of the 20-minute, 30-minute episode, he was like, oh, I messed up. Oh, I messed up. I shot myself in the foot. I should have moved in with Lauren because the experts did a good job in matching us up. What? My head is spinning on a swivel. You just said 20 minutes ago that you made the best decision. You stand on your decision. And that all I did was go to the kitchen and get a glass of water. And next thing I know, you talking about, oh, you messed up. You shot yourself in the foot. And you believe the experts did a good job hooking you and Lauren up to the point of, he says 2 weeks ago, before he came on this little show here, he tried to get in contact with Lauren. And Lauren was like, don't be calling me. She did not want to be bothered. She did not want to be contacted. So then he tried to go through Claire to get in contact with Lauren, and it was crickets. Good for Lauren. Finally, Lauren learned how to stand up, say goodbye, and walk away really, really well. But here is Orion trying to go back and double dip. For what reason? It wasn't because he likes her. Like I said, Orion is a liar. Orion is a liar. The only reason Orion called Lauren these 2 weeks ago is because he knew the season was going over and they was going to be making some appearances. And he just wanted to make sure they can make some appearances together. That's it. That's all he was doing. He's trying to smooth it over so he can make some more appearances and he can have some more camera time. He ain't interested in Lauren. Orion is one big liar. One big liar. One thing he didn't lie about, he finally admitted that he ain't ready for marriage. Keisha and I put him asked at the end of the episode, hey, you know what? Do you think you're ready for marriage now? He says, no, I got a lot of work to do. Duh. No shit, Sherlock. You ain't telling us nothing new. That's like me coming in out of the rain, soaking wet from the rain, and someone saying, oh, did you know it's raining outside? What you think? Of course I know. Of course, I know that Orion is not ready for marriage. Orion ain't even ready for a girlfriend, let alone a wife. Let's be real. In fact, many of us are still trying to wonder whether or not Orion wants a wife or a husband. Which one does he want? We still don't know that for sure. And you talk about flip-flopping. He did signal to us early on, y'all, that he was a flip-flopper. He told us early on he was a flip-flopper. We just didn't know how bad it was going to get. Because he said at one point in time, he thought that he wanted to go out with men. Okay. He thought that maybe he might be gay or wanted to go out with men. He said he went out with a man and then he realized he didn't like it. He didn't want to do it. I can't remember if he said he kissed the man. I just know he said he went out with him and he didn't like it. So he flip-flopped on that man too. I bet that man was mad. I bet that man was like, why are you wasting my time? If you really don't want to be with no man, why you out with me? Orion be flip-flopping on everybody. He flip-flopping on Lauren. He flip-flopping on men out in the street. He flip-flopping on us. He's just a flip-flopper, period. But he had his wedding ring on. I don't know why. We all know they ain't married, but I guess contractually they got to keep wearing their wedding ring. I don't know why. We already know they broke up. But he still had on his wedding ring, and Keisha and I pulled in was like, I was rooting for you guys on day one. Me too, Keisha and I. If any of y'all been watching me all season long, shoot, in the beginning of the season, the first 2 episodes, I was 2 feet in with Lauren and Orion. Shoot. I was wrong about that. Good thing I didn't put no money on it. I'd be broke. But he started trying to explain his flip-flop, and he was talking about, you know, when they first came back from the honeymoon, when he was asking, we just need a couple of days apart, when he had to go back to his mama's house. So he was like, we just need a couple of days apart, Lauren, and, you know, get our heads straight and everything. And then after that, you know, we can come back together. I told y'all all these men were talking to each other because let me tell you, Orion and Brennan, they both were saying the same old things. We need a couple of days apart to reconvene. These men were talking to each other. They were absolutely talking to each other. And I think all of them picked out a different way to handle their situations. Between Orion, Brennan, and Austin, they all had the same dilemma. None of them like their wives. But the way they're handling it is different. The way they're handling it is different because we got Brennan over here not saying nothing. He's in witness protection program. Austin got his jaws wired shut because he says he's not saying nothing either. He's just going to speak glowingly of the woman. Brennan says, I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not going to say anything glowingly or not. I'm just not going to say nothing at all. And Orion's over here opening up his mouth, spilling out all his guts. And then he flip-flopping back and forth. So you think you don't know what he really means, but we know what he really means. He ain't interested. He is not interested. He told Keisha and I pull him. He says, yeah, I know I have a problem with communication. He says, sometimes I generalize things too much. I know what I want to say in my head, but then when it comes out, it's not clear to other people. That's because you're lying. That's the definition of lying. When you know what you want to say in your head, right? You know the truth in your head, but then you don't say it. So when it comes out, people are like confused because they're like, I'm looking at what you're doing, but what you're saying looks completely different. That's why it's called a lie. That's why I told you guys from the very beginning, when he first told Lauren from the very beginning, sex is off the table, I'm not interested. That was his truth. That was his real truth. But everybody didn't like that because they said he was slut shaming Lauren. So then he had to retract it. He had to flip flop again and go back. Okay, say, okay, well, it's on the table. But the truth about it was it really wasn't on the table. That's what makes it confusing, because now you're saying it's on the table, but in your head, it still ain't on the table. That's why it's a lie. The lies are calling the flip flop, Orion. Be truthful. Be truthful. Then your communication will be more clear. They showed that little scene when Lauren was filming herself in the bathroom and she was talking about, that Orion had texted her and everything and told her he wanted a divorce, but then he wanted to continue the marriage. But he said he wanted to continue the process, but he didn't want to continue the marriage. He pulled in Alyssa. He said, I still want to be on the show. I still want some camera time. I still want to hang out with everybody, but I really don't want to be married to you. That's what he told Lauren. And Lauren's like, I'm confused. I'm emotionally distressed. Girl, you better wake up. You better catch up to what's going on. You better catch up to what's going on. She said she was overwhelmed and distressed. And Orion was on the show talking about, you know what? I really didn't want to hurt Lauren, but it sounds like that's what I really did. They were like, why couldn't you get over it, Orion? Why couldn't you get over the fact of what she said? She apologized. Why couldn't you give her grace? He says, I was just all up in my head. I couldn't get over it. I couldn't get over it because that wasn't the real reason why he didn't want to be with Lauren. It didn't matter. It didn't matter if Lauren apologized. It didn't matter if Lauren came with a bushel of roses, a bundle of roses like Cameron did for Claire. It wouldn't have mattered if Lauren would have came with a bag full of money. It wouldn't have changed the way Orion felt about Lauren. He wasn't attracted to her. He didn't want to be with her. All this show and tell, all this flip-flopping is just a means to stay on the show, get more camera time, and act like he really wanted to be with her, but he never did. And like I talked about on my earlier video, the one from the regular episode, I don't think Lauren really liked him either. Lauren over here begging for a marriage she didn't want. How the heck could she be so into this man and they only been married 3 days? She was crying like they've been married for 10 years. You know what? I do not believe that Lauren had caught that many feelings for Orion because Orion was treating her like crap anyway. So you mean to tell me you don't darn near fell in love with a man who treats you this bad? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I think both of these two just thought about, hey, maybe we could have moved in. Maybe we could have stayed on the show longer, had a bit more camera time. You know, the one thing about attraction with men and women, we do see some women grow into attraction with the men, but we rarely see men grow into attraction with women. When there's no attraction in the beginning, we've never seen those marriages work out. I think, who did we see? Jamie from season 1. I don't even know if I still believe it. I don't know if I still believe it. There's not too many seasons where people have been repelled by each other in the beginning, but all of a sudden they like each other. They showed that scene where Dr. Pia was talking to Lauren and Orion, and she was trying her best to get her an extra check so they would stay together. I think Dr. Pia must get a bonus check if her couple stay together. She was trying hard to get this bad marriage to stay on the tracks. And Orion told us that conversation was 4 hours long, y'all. 4 hours long. We probably saw 2 minutes of it, but the conversation with Dr. Pia was 4 hours long. You mean to tell me they sat there for 4 hours trying to convince Orion to stay in a marriage? Please, I wouldn't spend more than 4 minutes. 4 hours? 4 minutes is enough. 4 minutes is enough. If he don't want to be in the marriage after 4 minutes, I'm out. Orion said, you know what? He didn't want to have 1 foot in the marriage and 1 foot out the door. I guess he's talking about like Brennan and Austin, because that's their game plan. Brennan and Austin's game plan is to have 1 foot in the marriage and 1 foot out. And Orion said, I didn't want to do that because we know that Orion is stubborn and he likes to chart his own course. I'm telling you, all these 3 men, Orion, Austin, and Brennan, all had the same dilemma. They were with women they didn't like, and they all took different paths to get out. They all are taking different paths to get out, and Orion's path was to just get out and then to flip-flop back and forth. They asked Orion in the end, what was your biggest lesson that you learned? And he said not to hold a grudge for more than an hour. Good Lord, that means we're gonna be flip-flopping every hour on the hour. Because right now he was holding grudges for at least 24 hours. So we knew that after he came back, he would flip-flop after 24 hours. Now he said he done learned not to hold a grudge for more than an hour. That means he's going to be flip-flopping back and forth every hour on the hour. I'm so glad these two got a divorce and we ain't got to watch them no more. I am really, really happy. But they had Emily on the show. Emily was on the show with her pink dress on and her pink wrist brace again to match her outfit. Emily's had a lot of accidents this season because we know that she has the pink brace on her wrist, which is different from the wrist she so-called sprained earlier in the honeymoon, right? So now we find out that Emily has had a couple of slips and falls, injuries in 2 different situations, right? She's fallen in the shower and then she's had a calamity on an ATV, supposedly. I don't know. I haven't even seen that. Somebody told me that happened on the honeymoon, but we never saw it. But she's sitting on here now with a pink brace to match her outfit. I tell you this right here. We all know that Brennan is not interested in Emily, but she spilled some beans on this after party. She really did spill some beans. And I got a couple of theories about Emily. I told y'all that I believe that the reason Brennan is not interested in Emily is because he don't want to be married to a woman that drinks as much as Emily. I believe that's what it is. Now, because y'all remember now that Brennan said his daddy liked to drink. He said his daddy, who's Russian, drinks vodka like it's water. I think Brennan grew up around a lot of drinking, and he doesn't like it. And I believe that Emily triggers him. I think Emily triggers him with all the drinking that she does. And I believe she was drunk as she fell in that shower. She might have been drunk driving on that ATV. And she talks about a couple of other scenes where Brennan really starts yelling at her. She starts talking about a scene where was the last night of the honeymoon. And she says they was making out. They was making out in the rain because I guess all the couples had stayed out. They were partying. They were drinking at the bar and everything. And then she says she and Brennan were making out in the pool, I guess, or in the rain. But guess what? Guess what was involved? Drinking. So they was making out while they were drunk making out. We all know a lot of men to make out with a woman while they drunk. But once they become sober, they be like, dang, get her out of here. Get her out of here. So now you talk about when were the times that Brennan and Emily made out. And I kind of find out that the only times they ever made out was when alcohol was involved, when Brennan might have been drunk, when she might have been drunk. Because she said they made out in the rain after they was all partying at the bar and they were drunk. And then she says the other time they made out was the night of the wedding. And we know that Emily was drunk on the night of the wedding. And Brennan probably had been drinking too at the wedding. And he says, so they made out heavily the night of the wedding. She says, but other than that, not much went on. She said they had to take showers and they bathed in suits. She said she wanted to get butt naked. She wanted to get wild. But when Brennan is sober, Brennan don't want to have nothing to do with Emily. The only time Brennan wants to be with Emily and barely kiss her or touch her is when he's had a lot of vodka or tequila. That's it. So she's sitting here trying to wonder what's going on. She's starting to understand it. She says when they was drunk at the pool and they were making out, she says Brennan started yelling at her. He was probably yelling at her because she was drunk. He was irritated because he don't want to be with no drunk woman. He was probably yelling at her because she was drunk. We know Brennan's mean. We know he's mean, and we know he ain't gonna handle nothing with no real kind care and consideration. But I bet Emily was drunk. And all of y'all been around a drunk person before. And let me tell you, when drunk people start getting on your nerves, you do start yelling at them. You either run away from them or you start yelling at them because they do be getting on your doggone nerves. But she said Brennan was yelling at her at the pool in front of everybody. And Brendan was trying to tell her, well, I'm trying to protect us. I'm trying to protect you. Probably because Emily was drunk acting wild. And it sounded like Brendan might have been trying to control her. And we know Emily don't want to be controlled when she's drunk. Most drunks don't want to be controlled most drunks don't want to be controlled after they've been drinking. And she said, well, it sounds like you trying to, it doesn't sound like you looking out for me or us. It sounds like you looking out for yourself. I bet you Emily was drunk, y'all. Now, the more I hear the stories, the more I hear about when she says they made out. Every time they made out, it was drinking was involved. You can't trust the alcohol, y'all. You cannot trust the alcohol. Ladies, if a man only makes out with you when he's drunk, that don't mean he really like you. That just means he's drunk and he ain't got no wherewithal. When they got back from the honeymoon, they were sitting down there talking to Pastor Cal, and Brendan was saying, you know what, I really don't want to touch her. I want to feel the romantic feelings that I want to feel for her. The only way I can get in the mood with Emily is to drink a whole lot of vodka or tequila. And he says, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. I'm not attracted to this. And then Emily was getting upset, and Emily was like, you know what? You just need to tell me straight up. Like, she's talking like Lauren now. Give me the truth. I can handle the truth. And she says, I need to know 3 questions. She said, I got 3 questions for you. Why did you sign up? Do you like me? And are you attracted to me? Those were her 3 questions. Why did you sign up? Do you like me? And are you attracted to me? And Brendan looked at her and said, I don't know. Woo! He said, I don't know. And Emily said her feelings are hurt. She's upset because what she's saying is that he's going around complimenting all the other ladies and giving all the other ladies compliments, but he's not giving her no compliments. He's not talking about how pretty she is. Let me tell you something. Brendan is not complimenting the other ladies on their looks, Emily. Probably what he's complimenting is their behavior. He's probably complimenting the fact that they know how to hold their liquor. That's what he's complimenting, because I don't believe Brendan is running around saying that Emily looks worse. I don't think Brendan is running around and saying all the ladies are prettier than Emily. I don't think they're trying to say that Becca, Lauren, and Claire are all prettier than you, Emily. So therefore, I don't want to tell you you're pretty, but I'm going to tell all the other women they're pretty. Nah, the compliments he's giving these other ladies is they know how to handle themselves, dignified in a setting, and not get drunk, and not to turn up all the time. That's the compliments he's probably giving the other ladies. I don't believe Brendan is running around talking about all the other ladies are pretty, but you're not pretty, Emily. Because I think he does think Emily's pretty. I think he said that she was good looking. I think what he's complimenting the other ladies on is their behavior. And once again, this is probably showing the lack of experience that Emily has. Emily wonders why she gets dumped after the 3rd date. Because that's probably how long it takes for men to figure out that she might be an alcoholic, that she don't know how to hold her liquor. You know, they go out with her one night and they think, oh, well, maybe we just had a good time. It was the one night that she turned up. The next thing you know, this is the 3rd date of this. This is the 3rd date. They're done. By then, they probably hit it anyway. They probably done hit it anyway. So they're like, what's the purpose of coming back? I can't be doing this every date, getting drunk. Emily ain't picking up on the clues. She is not picking up on the clues. As much as I know Brendan is mean, Emily gonna have to hold some responsibility too, why all these people don't want to date her more than 3 days. And just like here, Brendan really didn't want to be with her after more than 3 days either. That honeymoon, he said, was long. It was long. He was ready to stop dating her after three dates too. Let's be truthful. She was trying to talk about the issues. She said she was bringing issues to the table. She was crying and everything, but he didn't care. He didn't care one bit that her feelings was getting hurt. She said he left and was hanging out with Austin, the other undercover person. They trying to cook up their scheme. He running over here talking to Austin, the same person, trying to figure out how should we handle these women we don't really want to be with. And they are both trying to take 2 different approaches, and it's blowing up in Brendan's face too. Emily said she went home and sobbed in her bed, and he didn't even call her. He didn't check on her or nothing. He don't care. Just like he didn't take you to no hospital with that broken wrist. Brendan does not care. He is not interested, period. And not only is Brendan done with Emily, Brendan might be done with Married at First Sight, period. Because Keisha Knight Pulliam said they've been trying to get Brendan to come on the show. They keep inviting him to come on the after party. And Brendan's like, hell to the no, I'm not coming. I don't want to talk about it. I'm not coming on the show. Because probably he said, I ain't got nothing good to say. I don't have nothing good to say. Emily might want to be quiet. Emily might want to be quiet because if Emily keeps talking up too much, Brendan might want to say, well, I might need to come out here and clear my name. Right now, he's trying to be quiet, not trying to tell all the secrets, not really trying to tell all the stuff about Emily. But if Emily keeps talking and running her mouth, Brennan might come out of the dark. He might come out of the closet and start spilling all the tea, because he's going to feel attacked pretty soon. Emily says he always says good things. He says they're aligned, their values align. You know, he talks about how they like the same food choices. He talks about all these things that they have in common. She's bubbly. And so she's just dumbfounded. Girl, woo, you still dumbfounded? I'm not. So in the end, we got two couples going nowhere. Orion and Lauren, it's a wash, it's out. And pretty much we can write off Brennan and Emily. This ain't going nowhere. Right now, all we're going to keep watching for is to see how bad it ends. All we're watching right now is just to see how bad it ends. And do they really make it the entire 8 weeks? Are they really going to make it the entire 8 weeks? How can this go on for another 7 weeks? I feel it's going to be a whole lot of crying going on. I think the person that's going to be crying is going to be Emily. There's going to be a whole lot of crying going on these next 6 weeks, y'all. Anyway, that's it. If you didn't get to watch my video from the regular episode, here it is above my head. Please check it out. And don't forget, like always, y'all, don't forget to leave some comments down in the comments and talk to me. Y'all know I love to talk down in the chat. But that's it. Talk to y'all later. Bye.